What is up everyone, Barricade here, and I'm bringing you guys a quick Gears of War discussion video. I've been thinking a lot about Gears of War 4, honestly. Ever since I saw the trailer at E3, I just can't help but wonder what that game is going to be like, in terms of campaign. Is it going to be horror? Is it going to be more action-based like the other games? Is it going to have, 4-player co-op, or is it going to only have 2 players co-op, seeing as that, in the trailer we only saw JD and Kate? Is it going to have, Horde? Is it going to have, traditional multiplayer and all that? I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't take out multiplayer and stuff, but I still can't help but wonder what the multiplayer is going to be like, honestly. And today I just really wanted to talk about, what my ideas, what I believe Gears of War 4 will be like in terms of, multiplayer and, Horde and stuff like that. Okay, so when it comes to, Horde, I'm going to get Horde out of the way first. Honestly, Gears of War 4 better have Horde. That's just a given. It better have Horde. I know Gears of War Judgment didn't, but that was just a whole completely different story. We can disregard that. Ever since Gears of War 2, Gears has had Horde. Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3 had, a version of Horde that improved upon itself in each game. Gears 3's Horde was entirely different than Gears 2's, to where, you had fortifications, you can buy weapons, you can revive yourself, etc., etc. And I can't help but wonder what they're going to do to expand upon that, because Gears of War 4 is going to obviously be a lot different. The creatures we saw them fighting in the trailer were entirely different than anything that's ever been in previous Gears of War games. And, there might not even be traditional locusts in this game. Obviously there's no reason for them to be, seeing as, all the locusts were killed off after Gears of War 3. So what are they going to be fighting? Are we going to find these, new enemies that are, completely different, monstrous type, animalistic type, and more horror-based type that just kind of keep you on edge? I really hope that's what Gears of War 4 is going to be like. We saw these new things. They're kind of they have hard shells. Their mouth opens sideways. It's completely different than anything we've seen in any previous Gears of War game. These creatures are not something we're used to. And it blows my mind, because I can't help but wonder what the hell we're going to see else. What else we're going to see? We've seen these creatures, and they're obviously not going to be the only enemy in the game. We're going to see other things. We're going to fight different monsters. So it's just, the mind can't help but wonder and imagine what these type of enemies will be. So imagine a Horde mode where, yeah, you do fortifications and all that, but instead of seeing drones running at you with handguns and machine guns and stuff, we see these new creatures trying to break their way in, trying to literally tear through the fortifications, and we fight these new creatures that kind of you can't help but wonder, oh my god, I do not want this thing to get through my fortification. Please do not get through my fortification. I can imagine just fighting these weird ass creatures that the fortifications, you're so glad they're there, and you really want to do everything you can to keep them off it. I really hope they add a horror aspect to Horde, where the only thing that's protecting you is literally that fortification, and if that fortification is gone, you're in a lot of trouble. So I just really hope that they add a more of a dramatic feeling to it. And just imagine what the boss rounds are going to be like the boss waves, I mean. I don't know, it just blows my mind just trying to think about it. So when it comes to the actual multiplayer, though, stop with Horde for now, and let's go to the actual versus multiplayer. What are we going to see in this type of multiplayer? From the trailer, what I could see a lot of people were saying is the way the movements and everything kind of looked when it came to Gears of War 4, is it kind of looked like Gears 3. You kind of gotta admit, it kind of looked like Gears 3, the way they kind of would run, and just the way the characters would walk, and the way they would aim their guns and everything. It felt very Gears 3-ish. But you gotta remember, this is just an early trailer. This is just an early trailer that they're just showing off what the game looks like and what it's going to have, and give an ideas to what the story is going to be like. So imagine how different the game is going to change from this trailer to the final release. The game's going to be completely different. I bet you anything. It's going to be yeah, we're going to still have JD and Kate. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to keep going with when it comes to the main characters and everything. But just the way everything looks, the way it feels, it probably will be a lot different. And I know they're not going to change the horror aspect already, because that's their main focus. That's what they really want to do with this game. But just the way everything is going to change, as in terms of the way they walk and the way they move, and just certain things about the game will be changing drastically. So I bet you anything, when the game is getting really close to come out and they show another gameplay trailer, or when the game's already out, revert back to this trailer, go back to this trailer and watch it, and just see how different. For example, when it came to Gears 3's first trailer, one of the first gameplay trailers they showed, we saw Marcus fall out of the truck or whatever, and then he's fighting the Locust in that little field, and then they fight a Lamet Berserker, and then it ends with the Berserker jumping at them. If you go back and watch that trailer now and compare it to, you know, the campaign, the actual campaign part, it's like almost entirely different, you know, obviously excluding what happens, you know, they fight the Berserker and all that stuff, but just the way it looks, the way the weapons look, the way the weapons sound, the way the reticle looks on the Retro Lancer, the way, you know, even like, I think it was even nighttime, it wasn't even nighttime in the trailer, it was daytime, and in the actual game it was nighttime, I think, and then even like how even certain characters look. Like Sam was actually changed a lot. She was supposed to be light skinned. If you watch the trailer, she had like really light skin, and then they changed her to have more of a darker tone. So that was really interesting as well. But anyways, back to what I was saying about the multiplayer itself. What can we see in the multiplayer? Obviously, we're going to get, you know, traditional multiplayer. We're going to obviously get like TDM, you know, Execution, King of the Hill, yada yada. But when it comes to the actual, like, what is it going to be like? Seeing as if there's no traditional Locust in the game, what are we going to be fighting? Like, it's going to be obviously the COG or whatever this new coalition is going to be called, and versus who, you know, like the enemies you play as. Like, you know, in the other multiplayer games, it's COG versus Locust. So what are we going to get in this game? You know, I can't help but wonder, because will they throw Locust in it just to give that multiplayer that original feeling? Or are they going to have new enemies that you can be? Like, I don't know, like, imagine if there really is this new type of enemy, this new army, let's just say, and there is actual humanoid type of looking creatures, and they look really badass, and they're kind of similar to Locust but not, and then we can play as them in multiplayer. That'd actually be pretty sick, honestly, if they did eventually make something like that. Overall, Gears of War 4 has me very excited, but I can't help but wonder what the game is going to be like, because when we got, you know, the trailers for Gears 3, we knew what we were going to get eventually. You know, we're going to get, like, overall, a Gears game. You know, COG versus Locust. You know, multiplayer, the way it originally is and all that. But this game is different. This game is something else. This is the start of a different chapter in the series, so we have no idea what we're going to be getting with this game. But anyways, guys, if you guys liked this video, please definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about Gears of War 4. Are you guys excited for it? Are you guys wondering what the heck is going on with this game? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy.